Hi there, this is Shivam from Design Originals Club. This time I sat down with Manav, who is a design lead at Smallcase and Housing.com. We dive deep into the portfolios of designers from companies such as Cred, Blinkit, and Atlassian. These are extremely well-crafted portfolios. We discuss the nuances and the little details in these portfolios, what makes them work so well so that it helps you in building a kick-ass portfolio for yourself. Let's dive deep into this right away.
Hi everyone. So continuing this series of showcasing great portfolios, right now we have Manav here.
Hey.
Hi Manav, thanks for coming. Manav, he is ex design lead at Smallcase and also led design at Housing.com. Manav, when you do look at the portfolio, what are the things that you have in mind when you are doing a tear down of the portfolio and just general tips? We can talk in detail about that at the end of the video about other things that a designer should think when building a portfolio. But generally for now, maybe quick 1 minute, of the things.
Whenever I look at a portfolio or a website, the things that I look at is the experience, my experience of going through the website, how it makes me feel, what emotions does it evoke in me as a person who's looking at a website, and then basic checks like are the links connected, is everything connected, like there are no dead links, how are the interactions, what kind of interaction has the person thought about while building a website. And then the second part of reviewing is actually looking at their work. I don't expect a very detailed project because if I end up selecting a portfolio, anyways the detailed discussion is going to happen in the first round. But I look at if the website and the work generates enough curiosity in me to even book a first round of discussion, which is usually called a portfolio screening round. And I also, if the project is interesting, I do note down some, or at least try to remember some questions which I want to deep dive into.
This first portfolio is by Siddharth.
Okay.
I think he's working in Cred.
The first thing, as soon as I land on his website, I know that he's well versed with visual design, typography, grid layouts.
Yeah.
It says HIPAA, the four characters, but if I hover on it, it says home, index, okay, playground, about me. Now, because I don't know much about Siddharth, the first thing that I would want to go is know who Siddharth is.
About me, I'm just curious why you first went to about me and not the work.
Okay, that's a good question. Ideally, for me to evaluate a portfolio, I do want to understand the background of a person, and based on their background, their experience, the companies that they have worked with, my criteria of evaluating changes somehow. I'll give you an example. Okay, no, I see that this guy works as a product designer and a brand design also, and he focuses on visual and interaction design, concept and strategic planning. So now I know.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting some context. Okay, these are the skill sets that that Siddharth has, and now me evaluating his work will be more obviously from a point of view of these things also, rather than just visual design, motion design, animation, all that thing.
Right.
So basically, it's adding to the layers of how much in depth do I want to evaluate him. Obviously, if I'm hiring someone now, see at this point of time, let's say if I'm hiring a mid designer with 4 years of experience or 5 years of experience, right? With all the things that I have seen right now, I wouldn't even get to his work. I would directly kind of tell my HR, or if I am hiring, I would shoot a message to Siddharth and say, hey, I saw your work, I like it, let's do the first interview. Right? Because I've already seen enough for me to, hire him. I don't really want to get into a case study at this point of time.
Yeah.
Currently, I work independently. So I've worked with Cred for 3.5 years. He's built 0 to 1. He's worked at Cred store, play, management, onboarding, and he mostly works at 0 to 1 companies. And he's also worked for $1 billion companies. Okay, cool. So outside work. So now this gives me a little bit of character about him. So I've tried to incorporate a little bit of his personality and character, which all obviously helps understand more about a person. It also helps build common ground. Taki the first kind of conversation we have some topics to talk about. It should be start from a little bit. These are the things that he does best. This is his resume. And these are some of his projects that are done. Now gives me more context about what
Yeah.
he does, what is art about, which I would ideally would want in a like a first home section. Funny enough, it says let's start, but there is no CTA for me to click.
Can you hover? No.
But I think what he intends to do here is maybe reach out. Maybe we should reach out to a link like this. But initially I was surprised that there must be some button. Now what is index and what is play? Okay, this is like personal work.
I
think
it's
it's-
just, fun stuff, you
This is
make on
personal.
websites.
I think this is his personal stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to horizontally scroll here, but that's not also shifting.
Yeah.
So that kind of interaction probably should have been added here, but there must be a reason why Siddharth must have
Yeah.
not added it. But I would expect some level of horizontal scroll rather than me reading tab to switch, because there is already a lot of text here that I have to read. And again, these arrows are not very accessible from the point of legibility. They're getting, the contrast is not much. So in this I probably saw it. So I saw it in this color scheme. There's not much contrast,
Right.
so there should be some separation or contrast
Yeah.
here. But that's a nitpick
Yeah.
I would do.
Yeah.
Uh,
you want to check out some one of the case?
For me, whatever is the first one, I'll go with that.
It generally has the highest CTR.
Yeah. For yes. So okay, credit card management. He tells a little bit about the product, gives some context. I would love to see how much time did it take for them to complete this product. Some impact. I'm assuming. I don't see an impact right now. Maybe we see something. So like very good motion design, giving us context of the screen that they probably have worked or they have improved. Okay, so it's given. So that's a very good thing that he has mentioned. He has said that illustration was done by these people, motion design was done by these people, and these were the engineers. So now I know the visual design was something that he has done. Okay, I think he added neomorphism because this was the earlier design. If you see, these are some inconsistencies in, I think, shadows. Okay, cool, interesting. Better time. So one thing that I like about his work is he's providing the final view of what was built rather than going into every single screen, because a product as complicated as this would have a lot of screens.
Yeah.
And for me to assess, because I need much more time to assess all those things, so I don't really want everything here.
Yeah.
So that's like a good thing. I think he has kind of summarized this in like 4 or 5 core screens,
Yeah.
which basically helps me understand basic idea of what's the workflow of the product.
Yeah.
Assess me in terms of visual. Okay, text. So I'm skipping through all the text because that's probably, if something stands out, I'll read it. So this was before, this was after. This interaction is amazing.
Yeah,
like
this
I
is
always
great,
like these
yeah.
interaction, right?
It's great.
Nothing gives much more context than what was before and what is after,
Yep.
right? So this is amazing.
Nice
More people
examples.
should start doing things like this, right? Credit card design beyond aesthetical. This is nice. So taken specific part of the product and is now deconstructing it, that what was there in the old design and how would it probably improve it. Okay, design changes. Yeah, I think this is good. Where you kind of show like a motion of in a scroll, you show what the design was, and then you're breaking down the parts of the product rather than showing a long scroll, right? Okay. Card management thoughts. View next project. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah.
That's all. But one thing is weird to me, that I don't know if, again, I think the next action what Siddharth wants is for us to reach out there on social rather than what does this do?
Next
Not
project.
rather than taking it to the next project.
Yeah.
This design decision is that Siddharth is confident in the project that he has shown, that he's sure that. That's what I'm presuming. That he's sure that the work is good, and the next thing people will do is reach out to him
Yeah.
rather than seeing his next project. So
Right.
that kind of exudes some form of confidence in his craft and work.
Yeah.
But overall, I like his storytelling. He's not revealing a lot of details. He's just saying what he did and showing it. So his portfolio kind of follows a show don't tell
Yeah.
philosophy,
Yeah.
or a balance of show and tell, which I really like. Because if I want to get into detail, I'll obviously have a screening round with him where I'll ask him to maybe take me through one of his projects, where I will actually evaluate his skill set, what his thought process is, how he deconstructs a problem into a solution, and all that iterations and all. So
Yeah, great.
this is for me more like a whether I screen him for this first round of
Right.
interview or not, and what kind of skills should I
Yeah.
expect from him.
And what other designers, what they can learn from Siddharth's portfolio?
Focus on what's important. You don't really have to, for me at least, I don't expect a detailed case study on your website, right? With all the decisions you have made. If you can just take me through core, what do you say, highlights or checkpoints, right? Like Siddharth has done, right? That's enough for me to be curious enough for me to schedule a round with you, and then we'll probably go in a much more detailed discussion. Basically, this gives me confidence that this guy knows his skill. Now I just have to evaluate whether his work style would fit in my company, the process would fit with my company's work culture, and personally with the kind of people I want to work with.
Right, that makes sense. So let's move to the next one. The next one is, let's go the Jeevanshu first.
Again, I'll start with refreshing the page first.
Oh, there's a loading.
So I like this. I like
this
this. I design because punching people is frowned upon. That's a like nice funny joke. Okay. Work comics, senior product designer, Cars 24. This is again it shows some kind of personality. Okay. Again, I'd like to know more about it. Okay, I know his name is Jeevanshu. He's at Cars 24. Okay, I
Oh,
am.
there's a toggle here.
Yeah, what does it do?
Oh.
Oh, nice. This is nice. So it's kind of a TLDR version of
Yeah.
what you're just highlighting the key things. But I think that could have been already been done by just highlighting and de-highlighting some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, gyms and badges. Okay, so he's gone with a Pokemon vibe. Like badges, you don't really get to see all these things.
Oh, these are all work, right?
These are all work, but he has kind of added them in form of badges, like Ash would
okay.
do, right?
Yeah.
Nice, Cars
So
24.
normally people put the boring stuff of logos.
Yeah, so he's kind of given a flip off. So he's for him,
Yeah.
companies are badges of honor.
Right.
Like,
It's a fun take, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
nice. That's also nice.
Wow.
If I hover on it, is showing.
Yeah.
Screen.
There's a lot of attention to detail.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Product designer.
Does something happen on the whole?
Just to read, make it legible, and then the other side kind of looks like someone has written Russian. I understand where you are coming from, but not a very legible interaction in terms of readability. Cool. So these are, I think, testimonials. Yeah, these are testimonials. Cool. Nice. That's good. And again, more about him personally. Yeah, nice. What about you? Okay, I'm doing fine. Okay, reach out to you. Now, if I want to see some of his work, there is no CTA for me to go to his work. Ideally, there should be some way to at least take me to some of his work, because abhi tak to I've just seen his homepage, right? And I can't see any floating navigation as well, right? Okay, let's go to videos. What's videos? Okay, these are his interviews. This kind of gives us some, I think, some form of social cred,
Yeah.
social proof. I will not go to any videos. Again, there is no way for me to go back to, like, the navigation is gone now completely. Okay, so I've landed on this page again. Yeah, that's like a kind of a small nitpick for me. Probably should retain the way the navigation should be, making it consistent. Okay, if I click on work, it again takes me to this page, and then so the loop is not proper. Improving location. There must be some reason why we have put a password, because he still works at Card 24. There might be some work that's confidential for him to show openly. Right, but okay, let's go to maybe this project Virak.
Yeah, this one is
designing for
available.
SME and insurance. Okay.
Oh, it's also password protected, I think.
Okay.
Some screens.
Some screens are there.
Yeah,
right?
at least you can see good visual design.
Good visual design work. So I know that he's good with visual design. Again, with the navigation is not there. I would love to see some impact here, because I can't see or read your case study. I would love to see some superficial level of information of what was his role, how much time did it take. At least give me that before I even ask you to share your DM. But overall, the website is clean. Just navigation is something that we could probably improve on. DM for password, sure, we can like DM him, and it'll be I think that's also a good strategy
Yeah.
to like if someone is interested in reading his
Yeah.
case study, that means that's a potential either
Yeah.
client or a potential lead for a new job.
Exactly.
Right.
And when I click on the read, okay, or again password, okay, it's the same thing. So
It's
I
the
think,
same thing.
yeah, I think same one button can be here for password.
No, I
only.
think it's different. The DM for password is me asking for password, and then when I have the password, I have to click on read and then
Yeah.
enter the password. All right, so
Yeah.
that's a little bit of a blocker for me because now the only thing that I know is he has some form of good visual design.
Yeah.
I can't judge him based on other skill sets.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking for someone who has a little bit of thought process,
Yeah.
who can show confidence that I should reach out to him, maybe
Yeah.
that's something that's a little blocker for me. I will still reach out to Jeevanshu to access one of his case study, but then that would be then because I will like spend time on actually reviewing that case study
Right.
thoroughly, because in that one shot I will evaluate his skill set as a designer and a fitment in my company as well before I schedule a screening round.
Yeah, I also love that he also make comics, so he does
Yeah.
side projects. You can
Yeah.
see the comics he's making here.
Yeah.
So it's good to always include the other things you do
Yeah.
apart from the normal product design, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Like first impressions, looks very nice, very smooth. It gives me a premium feeling. It gives me a confidence also. I don't know. It just tells me that this guy must be a good visual designer because he knows his
Yeah.
way with gradients and
Yeah.
incorporating motion in gradients. Although it could be a framework plugin as well. But so resume, contact, about, again a product designer, visual designer, full web biryani.
Would you
creative.
normally scroll down or you go to navigation generally on the portfolio?
ऐसा कुछ rule नहीं है. It depends. So again, the reason I visit the website is because what is it telling me? So right now, the website is neither telling me to scroll, not telling me to click anywhere. So now it's my basic instinct that will come on. So my basic instinct is usually clicking and finding out. That's my instinct, right? Because the button it's on the bottom left, right? And usually my mental model is not in a way where I look at the bottom left corner for any interaction signs, right? And I would say I would just maybe if we could had this introduction just a slightly above, like slightly off the middle line of the screen, so I can at least get some attention on who is Prayas and what does he do. I like this thing, fueled by empathy, biryani. I also love biryani, so that's like a common connection I have with him. Enabling brands to create intuitive, enjoyable visual design. So now again, he comes off to me as a visual and brand designer, elevating brands narrative. So mostly I think brand design, brand strategy, those kind of work. So because I want to know about him, I'll go to about section. Atlassian, okay, he ranked seed. Okay, so initially I thought these are changing based on my scroll, but I think these are changing automatically after a couple of seconds, which is a bummer because now I can't know the exact chronology in which things are happening. But okay, it still gives me an idea of the things that he has worked with. What happened after? What do I do now? So he does freelance. He's a mentor. In the industry, journey, text more about him. I would advise people that even in the about section, when they tell people to give a plug or a CTA to contact them, maybe they should have at least one or two case studies they have more confidence on, because this just closes the loop between the product of keeping people within your ecosystem rather than taking you out of the ecosystem. Right. So if I would just have maybe any work here, right, I would just click it and then I would probably go into seeing his work, because now I know about him. Now the next thing I would want to know is his work. What can I see any of his work? So let's go to his. So I can't see a link of work here. I would probably want to see it. Again, the navigation. Okay, navigation is there. Behind the design. Okay, visual designer. He also does product design. Visual and product design is focusing. Okay, he works on B2B SaaS products. Maybe let's click it. Internship crafting, delays. Team. Okay, 2 months का काम था. Bangalore, delayed execution. Again, I still don't know what a delayed execution means. Maybe adding a little bit more context of what is a delayed execution. I still don't know what that means. And results, this feature. So this is the approach he took rather than the impact that was there after his product. This seems like a very technical product, but it seems interesting enough. Your assistant in delaying their automation rule with a user-friendly manner that's easy to develop. Okay, so it took 3 to 4 weeks. That's probably the competitors. Again, like something like this is good.
Yeah.
So maybe Jeevanshu can do something like this where he shows a screen but it's locked because he can't show. But in the background, I know there's a lot of work that has been done.
That's what I was saying, that you don't need to lock all the case study. Just a confidential part can be
So
locked,
this is telling me now this is forcing me to read Prayas's text that he has written. So it will give me much more context about his thought process, the way he's worked, and like these are things that are important to me. But at least I know that he has done some work. And again, to see all these work now, because I have more confidence in the work that he has done, the thinking part, I would probably schedule a call with him and ask him to take me through his portfolio, through specifically this work, and maybe ask a couple of follow-up questions on that. So that's like a separate detailed discussion. But mostly this is, I think, a good way which designers can use to at least communicate their thought process thinking and not revealing a lot about the work that they have done, which is under NDA. Right. So as per non-agreement, like there's a very smart way. I think that's something even I'll take out from Prayas portfolio.
Absolutely.
That's one thing everyone should have. Like, well done Prayas on that. Like just because of this, that's a great solution. I could not fully understand the context of the scope of work. And also about the product, because this seems like a very small niche project in a very big tool. But slowly I shifted more towards evaluating Prayas on his storytelling thought process than actual outcome. And that I'll probably evaluate when I'll have a one-to-one discussion with him in the next round. Even more work. I would just say I think this must be a conscious decision, because people scroll more than clicking on links like this, but you kind of have to think of from both perspectives. There are some people who would prefer clicking on whatever they see first. I've worked with people who behave in that way, but obviously there are people who will, the first thing they'll do is they'll scroll the fuck out of a website until they reach the end, and then they decide, okay, where to click. Right. So like all three great portfolios. Next steps of discussion, which is a portfolio screening.
Thanks for your thoughts, and we love showcasing great portfolios, so other can take a clue and learn from them. Any other tips, for designers in general?
A couple of things that I usually advise everyone is, please show impact, irrespective of if you are a junior designer, senior designer, if you were an intern or not, and don't hesitate in showing NDAs. Like NDAs, I respect NDAs, right? But there are a lot of ways you can show your work without breaking the NDA. So find out ways like Prayas has done, right? Because NDA, a lot of designers personally I have seen use NDAs as an excuse to navigate showing bad work, right? That's one. So show impact. Impact is important, because impact is, again, without impact, design is just fancy, like color and typography and motion, right? When it ties to business and actually some KPIs, that's where the value of design comes. You can talk in percentages like 2x, 3x, 50% increase, all those things. Second is, if you have not done research, don't show research. Everyone knows how things work, and everyone knows ki kis company.
Amazing.
Yep.
So thank you so much again, Manav.
Okay.
Great. And bye.
Bye, guys.